Oh, welcome ladies and gents. Let's talk the latest episode of ANDOR. I know, the show that literally no one is watching, and I'm still reviewing it, but I may actually stop and just enjoy it now. Because, yeah, no one is really watching the show, and thus no one is really enjoying these reviews, which is disappointing because it's worthy of your time to a certain degree. Like, it's subjective, isn't it? I understand people don't like the slow pace, but I found it to be thoroughly enjoyable, and I like to look at, you know, the sort of nitty gritty of the Empire. This episode specifically showed the Empire as a huge, industrious, complex machine. They just overrun the industrial complex. They just took it all over, but via essentially slave labour. Crazy. And that kind of stuff, it just adds new layers when I then go to watch other things. Because, you know, we got the basics in the other shows, the other movies, you know, why is good versus evil. But what specifically was it? We just knew that there was a rebellion and then the Empire. But we didn't really understand why. We didn't really get to the grip of exactly what was going on. The sheer oppression that was happening. And boy howdy does Andor really show that. So he ends up in prison in this episode. Full spoilers. He ends up in prison. And it was great. The way they interacted with him. All of them. Move forward. Stop there. Look down. No, are you looking down? Arms up. Just the barking commands to confuse the prisoner. It's just crazy. Because that's what you would do, right? Obviously, if you're incredibly cruel. And the way the floors at this prison, none of them have weapons. Some of them have weapons, but basically none have weapons. Because the floors are charged. There's like an electrical charge that runs through them. And they can fire it off at will. And boom, fry you alive. Literally, in some cases. So they're in prison. They have their cubicles. They're on a factory line. So it's just a prison factory. Making weapons, munitions, machinery for the sort of militaristic industrial complex of the Empire. And Andy Serkis turns up. No, it's not Snoke. And he runs the floor. Each table is competing against one another to be the top table of the day. If you become the top table, what do you win? Flavour in your food. Just the soul-destroying nature of being in this prison must be brutal. You get as much food as you want, unlimited food. But the downside is there is literally no flavour to it. But if you win, you become the top table, you're quick. You smash those machinery out, you get some flavour in your food. Now obviously, this one specifically addresses what's been happening in the Senate. The Senate passed a bill which doubled everyone's prison sentences. And that everyone's confused. No one understands why, what's going on. So obviously they all see this new guy, Andor, and they're asking him about him. They talk about the heist and things. He's like, oh, I didn't know nothing. I don't know anything. Obviously he kind of does, but he kind of doesn't. And so that was interesting. Someone committed suicide. Again, it's just this bleak, tragic nature of the true oppressive side of the Empire. Luthen goes and sees Saw Gerrera. That was cool. Nice to see him. Doesn't have his breathing apparatus or robotic legs. He offers him some items in exchange for him working with another individual. I think the other individual was called Two Tubes or something like that. Can't remember the name, but it was, you must work with us and we'll, beat the Empire. It's like, that's separatist, this, blah, 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 blah. And Saw Gerrera goes mental. So obviously there's some bad blood there between the different factions of a rebellion. And it's about unification, isn't it? Luthen wants the oppression hard on the people of the Empire, because otherwise they won't rebel. He wants people to truly see what the Empire will do to them if they don't rebel, thus making them rebel. What an episode. It was a really good episode. The stuff with Cyril, the former guy on Ferrix. He gets called in to the ISB. You've been filing reports, false reports, searching for Andor. That was great. That was really, really good. I still can't quite tell where he's going to go, because he really hassles Dedra for basically so he can help her. But she turns him down, and he's like, I was a good officer. I did this well. I was this. And you can see he really does mean it. And he obviously wants to redeem himself. And I still think that's going to be a grey area. I think there's motivation which the writers, and they seem really good on this, could switch. And he could become good. He could join the rebellion. Or further the Empire. I think he'll probably still do another request. And then, we go back to Andor's planet that he was living on. I can't remember what it was called actually. But anyway. And the ISB Dedra is obviously looking for Biggs. And yeah, they torture someone. They announce, the guards obviously announce to Dedra that, oh yeah, she's here. We've got the prisoner here. Should we remove this other prisoner that we've been torturing? No, leave him there so she can see him. They bring her in, and Dedra immediately turns to the guards. It's all stage play. And goes, "Wow, what are you doing? Why? Get him out of here! Get him out of here!" But so she can see, and it's that manipulative nature of the Empire and the ISB that we just didn't get to see properly before. You know, why were people truly terrified of these individuals? What was it that they did? The psychological warfare. And that's what it is, you know, working people to the brink of their existence in a prison. It's psychological warfare. It's just wearing them down. So I really do like this show, but I may stop reviewing it now because just no one's really interested in it. And I quite like watching these things just for me as well. And this is one of them that I watch on a Wednesday morning. I'm like, bloody, this is my Wednesday morning sorted. I like watching these. So let me know what you thought down below. Again, if you're watching this, you probably want me to continue them. I get it, but hopefully you understand if I don't. But I may do, because it's a bloody good show.